Hello all. Okay, Bloomin' Cheesy here. This is another part to my 1995 Peter Pan book. Seems really interesting. I really do like reading this. This is trudging into December. Big things coming. Hope you guys do like. Hope you guys do comment. Hope you guys do subscribe. Here is the book reading. Okay. Last time we ended with was, "Oh, Mr. Crocodile," Peter sang out and waved. "Do you like codfish?" The crocodile leapt up and snapped at Hook's coattail. Rip! The coat tore away. The crocodile leapt again and snagged Hook's pants. Hook clung desperately to the cliff, but the rock began to crumble. Suddenly it gave way, and Hook let out a scream, fell, and was swallowed up in the crocodile's mouth. An instant later, the crocodile disappeared under the water. Wendy let out a horrified gasp. Suddenly, the crocodile burst out of the water. Hook had the crocodile's jaws forced wide apart. "Smee!" cried Hook. Smee dashed for the rowboat as the crocodile's jaws snapped shut. Hook cried out and dove into the water. The crocodile snapped and snapped. Smee! Round and round swam the captain with the crocodile in eager pursuit. Peter stood at the edge of Skull Rock and crowed in triumph as he watched Captain Hook swimming for all he was worth out to sea. Wendy tapped him on the shoulder. "What about Tiger Lily?" Peter had forgotten about her. In a flash, he shot back inside the Skull Rock. Already, the tide had risen above her head. Another second, she would have drowned. Peter plunged into the water and lifted her to safety. With Tiger Lily in his arms, he and Wendy flew out of Skull Rock and toward the Indian camp. Another artwork I love. I'll take my time with this because these are beautiful, aren't they? Chapter 6. Hook had a terrible cold and splitting headache. Once again, Peter Pan had managed to make a fool of him. "Curse that Peter Pan," Hook muttered to himself for 100th time. It was something Smee had mentioned almost casually that lifted his spirits and convinced Hook that this time, finally, he would have Peter Pan. "Did you say Peter has banished Tinkerbell?" Hook asked. "Aye, Captain," said Smee answered. "That he has." The news was incredible. Hook was taken aback. "But why?" he demanded. "Well," Smee explained, on the account of Wendy, Captain. Tink tried to do her in, she did." Hook could not believe his ears. Tink is terrible jealous," Smee said. "Well, well," said the captain as he stroked his chin with his hook. A plan was beginning to take shape in his head. "That's it!" he cried suddenly. Smee smiled agreeably. "Smee," said Hook with a delicious gleam in his eye, "get me my best dress coat." Smee went for the coat, and Hook refined his plan. If he could convince Tinkerbell that he wanted to help get rid of Wendy, she might just lead him to Peter Pan's hiding place. Smee returned with the captain's best coat and good gold hook, then started to leave. "Where do you think you're going?" Smee shrugged uncertainly. Hook corralled him. "You're going ashore to pick up Tinkerbell and bring her to me. Understand?" "Aye, Captain, Captain," Smee saluted. Meanwhile, the chief had been so relieved by the safe return of Tiger Lily that he made Peter a honorary chief, Little Flying Eagle, and ordered a big celebration. Michael, John, and the Lost Boys were all free to make honorary braves too, and each was given a feather to wear. Peter let out a whoop, and everyone cheered. Soon they were all singing and dancing around the campfire, having a wonderful time. A large Indian woman with a papoose on her back stepped up to Wendy. "Stop dancing," she ordered. "Get firewood." Get firewood? But Wendy wanted to dance and shout like her brothers and Peter. The Indian woman pointed towards the woods. "Oh well," Wendy shrugged. She wished not to offend the Indians, and if collecting some firewood would make them happy, she would do it. But when Wendy returned to camp with an armload of firewood, she saw Tiger Lily dancing and shouting and having a wonderful time. What was worse, she was rubbing noses with Peter. Wendy fumed and threw down the wood. Just then John, Michael, and the Lost Boys danced past her. Michael handed her his teddy bear. "Take the papoose," he commanded grandly. Wendy was shocked. Since when did she take orders from her baby brother? And to make matters worse, the Indian woman returned. "Get firewood," she ordered again. Wendy stamped her foot defiantly. "I won't get firewood," she corrected. "I'm going home." She marched out of the Indian camp and into the dark. Not far away, Tinkerbell listened sadly to the celebrating. She was heartbroken. First, Peter had brought that awful Wendy to Neverland, and now he was dancing with Tiger Lily. Another artwork. I like that one. It wasn't fair. She told herself. Tinkerbell sighed. She didn't notice that Mr. Smee had sneaked up behind her. Smee quickly snatched Tinkerbell in his cap. Begging your pardon, Miss Bell, Smee chuckled as he twisted the cap shut. But Captain Hook would like a word with you. A short time later, Tinkerbell found herself in Captain Hook's cabin aboard the pirate ship. Hook played piano and Smee drank wine from a keg, while Tinkerbell sat in a corked bottle and tried to ignore them both. I admit defeat, Miss Bell, sighed Captain ruefully. Tomorrow I'll leave this island and never return. That's why I asked you over, my dear, to tell Peter I bear him no ill will. Tinkerbell gave Hook a suspicious look, turned her back to him, and crossed her arms. It was a look that seemed to suggest that he hardly cared whether Hook bore ill will or not. Pan does have his faults, Hook continued. For instance, bringing that Wendy to this island. He gave Tinkerbell a quick, meaningful glare. Rumor has it, he added significantly, that she's already come between you and Peter. Tinkerbell sniffed. How she wished that awful Wendy had never come to Neverland. Just the thought of her with Peter made Tinkerbell start to cry. Think of it, Smee, Hook said with the elaborate show of fake sympathy. A man takes his best years of a maid's life, then casts her aside like an old glove. Tinkerbell nodded in agreement at the injustice of it all. That was exactly what Peter had done. Her tears turned to sobs. Even Smee's eyes were wet. Ain't it a bloomin' shame? Hook nodded sadly and graciously offered Tinkerbell a handkerchief. Now, we mustn't judge Peter too harshly. It's really Wendy who's to blame. Tinkerbell dried her eyes. Hook was right, she told herself. This is all for now. Hope you guys do like. Hope you guys do comment. And hope you guys do subscribe. Please do. Boom and Cheesa out of here.